We have some sad breaking news to report. ABC News is reporting that the legendary journalist and our former longtime NBC News colleague Barbara Walters has passed away. She was 93. Jose Diaz-Balart takes a look back at her life.
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Barbara Walters practically invented what's called the Get, the big competitive news-making interview. And in her over half-century on television, she got just about everyone. Once she got them, she was willing to ask the questions others would not.
You showed the President of the United States your thong underwear. Where did you get the nerve? I mean, who does that?
She sat gladly down with every American president since Nixon.
Are you sorry you didn't burn the tapes?
Yes, I think so.
She went head-to-head with tyrants.
We read that you are unstable. We read that you are mad.
With convicted killers.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Eric, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
And few people in the business were willing to work harder.
I didn't start out to do it to prove anything. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be the biggest or the best. I never felt that way.
Barbara Walters grew up around show business. Her father, Lou Walters, owned the famous Latin Quarter, a New York nightclub where young Barbara would get to know the stars of the day.
I'd see them backstage without the makeup. I'd hear their problems. I'd know their stories. And I realized that celebrities were people, and I've never been in awe of them.
Barbara Walters joined the Today Show in 1961 as a writer.
Barbara is with me right now.
Her goal was to be taken seriously on camera, and it wasn't easy for a woman back then. At first, she was given the fluff assignments like Paris Fashion Week, Playboy Bunny School.
I felt pretty awkward. After all, I'm not a bunny. I'm a reporter for the National Broadcasting Company.
Then she was sent to cover First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy's trip to India. And in November 1963, sadly, her first national news story.
These are the honor guards who have been guarding the casket of President Kennedy.
She became a Today Show regular, though in the shadow of male host Frank McGee.
I could not ask a question until he had asked 3. And so the only way that I could do an interview that had great substance was if I got it myself.
So she booked big names in politics and show business. She decided the interview was her way of standing out.
And of course there are these rumors. She is difficult, she's difficult. How do they
about as difficult as a daisy?
And her career took off.
Barbara Walters is here with us in Hangzhou.
I went to China for the Today Show. I was the only woman from NBC that was sent there. I did interviews with presidential candidates. I went to the conventions so that little by little people could see, here is a woman doing the same thing that the men are doing, and it's okay.
When Frank McGee died in 1974, Barbara Walters became the first female co-host of Today on NBC. Soon, ABC News came calling with an offer to co-anchor the evening news and host primetime specials. At the time, they offered a record-breaking $1 million contract.
That was not my major reason for going. I was making pretty good salary. I went because I had a 7-year-old and I wanted a normal life.
But Barbara Walters got off to a rocky start at ABC News.
My partner was a well-respected newsman named Harry Reasoner. He certainly wanted to do the news every night. He just didn't want a partner, no less a woman, and he made that clear from the very first night.
I've kept time on your stories and mine tonight. You owe me 4 minutes.
I became the underdog. It was the worst time professionally of my life. I was drowning and there was no life preserver.
Hello, this is Baba Wawa.
Gilda Radner's legendary parody on Saturday Night Live only made her feel worse. Barbara just kept working, moderating a presidential debate, hosting primetime specials, landing more big interviews.
Is it true that we are the first Americans to cross the Bay of Pigs in 16 years?
As I remember, it's the first time.
She made history, the first joint interview with an Egyptian president and an Israeli prime minister.
You are always like this.
She was then made co-anchor of 2020, where she conducted hundreds of interviews over 25 years, few of them more memorable than this one.
What kind of a tree are you, if you think you're a tree now?
Oh, everybody would like to be an oak tree.
That's very strong and very pretty.
This is the only time I ever ask that question. And anytime any reviewer wants to put me down, they say, oh, Barbara Walters with her What Kind of a Tree?
In 1997, she went to daytime and started The View, now a television staple that survives her.
Always wanted to do a show with different generations of women with different backgrounds and different personalities, and that's what we did.
When she announced that she would be retiring from television, she did it with a nod to her own legacy as the nation's first anchorwoman.
I've had an amazing career beyond anything I could ever have imagined, and I hope I may also have inspired other women to make television. And most of all, I want to say now to all of you who have been watching me for so many years and who've traveled the same road that I have traveled with me. We've been together a long time. My cup runneth over. I thank you, thank you, thank you.
She left The View in 2014, said she was retiring, and dozens of the top women in television news came to pay tribute. As a woman who prevailed in a male-dominated industry, Barbara Walters actually went on to change television around her. Jose Diaz-Balart, NBC News.